This video is a summary of the methods used to do a selection by location, also called location-based querying. It's similar in many concepts to the previous lecture about selection by attributes, but in this case we will be able to create a subset of a data set based upon the relative locations of each of the features in two different data sets. Once again, in summary or in review, why do we create selection sets? It allows us the ability to summarize and compute of values for a subset with specific characteristics. We can identify all features that meet a certain rule or criterion. We can create a new layer that's a subset of a previous layer in which only certain things apply, and often selection by location is one of the steps in a complex series of steps to create an answer to a complicated question. Selection by location is found in the selection button of the main menu, and the drop down shows us the choice of select by attribute, select by location. Once again, the select by location uses a form of what's called SQL or standard query language to create a query or question based upon the relationship between two layers. And when it's completed, it will highlight the selected features so that they're visible and identified as meeting that specific criterion. Once the select by location is chosen and the select by location dialog box opens up, the first choice that's to be made in select by location is whether one wants to select from the entire data set that's currently an entire data set that's currently available, whether one wants to add to an already defined subset, whether one wants to remove a certain group of features from an already defined selection set, or to make a selection from the existing selection and subset a subset. So depending on what question one wants to ask, there's a variety of different ways that subsets can be built, added to, reduced, or selected from. Almost always usually the choice is to select, because in most cases we would only want to subset a bigger set, and that's a simple case, but it is possible to do more complex analyses. The next thing that needs to be chosen is the layer one would like to select features from, and this is called the source layer, and it's the one that's the big set that we might want to pick features from. The next thing to select is the relationship between the two layers. We haven't specified the second layer yet, but at this point we do specify the relationship, and almost every conceivable geometric or geographic relationship between two layers is possible. You can make a choice of everything that's within a certain distance of something else, everything that's completely inside, whether it has its center in, whether it shares a line segment, whether it touches. There are all sorts of choices to be made. The most common one probably is intersect as well. The next step that needs to be, or next thing that needs to be specified, is the second layer that has a relationship with the first layer. So once the three things are set, we'll select from one layer based upon its geometric relationship that we chose with the next layer. It is possible to apply a buffer, and again the meaning of the buffer would depend somewhat upon the geometric relationship that's chosen, but one does need to choose may choose to have a buffer included that would say pick all of one layer that is within a mile of everything in the other layer, and add on a buffer of an extra mile or so. One other and the results of this operation again would be highlighted in this teal or cyan color to demonstrate that those layers have been chosen. I need to point out one other choice that can be made. It is possible to, for the target layer, the layer that applies the rule, the geometric rule, to have selected features itself, and in which case only those selected features of the target layer would be used. So it's this select by location is an enormously powerful methodology with lots of choices and lots of logic involved in choosing what you want to do. But what I've shown in this video is the overview of that. In the next video I'll show an actual application in a live format for this functionality.